Hey everybody, Max coming here, Little Cutie Podcast. It's not too long. Oh, I'm back. Did you miss me? Did you even notice I was gone? Oh, you didn't know. You just been watching the Real Housewives of San Francisco I've been gone for 2 weeks. You just been binging New Housewives, or what's it called? Real Housewives of San Francisco. Is that even a good show? Is that a good show? What are they? Oh, anyway. Last couple weeks I've been a little sicky wicky. I've been a little sicky wicky. Yeah, I got a cold. I got a cold. Got a cold. It's cold season. Got a cold. I'm on the train every morning with 400 old Japanese dudes that pick their nose and pick their butts, and they gotta go to work even if they're sick. So, and all my students are probably sick too. So anyway, I was sick for a week there. Then I got better. It was a couple days, feeling good again. Then I got sick again like 2 days later. The cold comes back. I don't know if it was a different cold or the same cold. It just came back. It's like, oh, you thought you healed, huh? You thought it's not over. You thought COVID was over, huh? Remember 2021, you thought COVID was over? Well, it wasn't. Omicron was coming for you, dude. B2A5 was coming for you, dude. You gotta get 14 tuple, what's, triple, double, triple, quadruple. What's that in 14? You gotta get the vaccine 14 times, dude. It's bad. It's 20. All the restaurants are still closed. It's 2 years later. Still can't go. All the restaurants are closed. Yeah, so it came back there, And it came back with a vengeance there, Oh man, it was yeah. And then like that second week I had it, like I was feeling better, like I was feeling good, and then like I just feel worse. I just feel better, and then I feel worse. Like some days I wake up and I just feel worse, and then it's like, God. Started in my head, I kind of had the head congestion, had the nasal congestion, couldn't really breathe through my nose, and it kind of moved. Then my head stopped hurting, and it moved to my throat. Then I had a sore throat. I was like, and then my throat stopped hurting, and it moved to my lungs. My breathing tubes, my breathing bags. I got asthma, so it made my asthma come back real bad. So I've been coughing shit up for the past week there. It's like I feel like the cold went away, but then I've just had like bad asthma attack for the past week there. So I finally went to the doctor today. Like the cold's been gone I've been feeling fine last couple days, but like my asthma is still pretty bad. So I went to the doctor there. He gave me a bunch of drugs, drugging me up with steroids. Did you know that you can take steroids to make your airwaves relax? Some steroids make you really buff, but some just make your airwaves relax. Isn't that, well, steroids. Steroids, they're great. I love steroids. I want to take steroids and get really buff, like The Rock. Yeah, so I'm still a little, having a little trouble breathing there, But God, it's been like 3 weeks there, dude. It's been like 3 weeks I've been sick. Haven't been able to exercise. Haven't been able to bulk up. It's wintertime. Wintertime is time for bulking. You bulk in the winter, you cut in the summer. You do a dirty bulk in the winter. Just eat as much as possible. Just lift heavy. Then around April, May, start cutting. Start cutting the carbs. So the ladies can see your abs at the beach. Be like, what's up, ladies? Look at my abs. I cut in the summer. Yeah, but I haven't been able to work out. Kind of sad about that. It's the only joy in my life. Of course, Zorro here. Zorro the 3.5 fat boy, sleeping on me. That's kind of a joy. But anyway, so what's been going on last week or so? Did anything happen? Oh, there's an election in America. I don't know if you guys heard about this election in America. Did you guys hear about it? I hope you heard about it. Because that's the only thing anyone was talking about all times. The internet. You open up the Google News there. You go to the U.S. News. Every single story is a political story about Trump and Kamala. It's like, hey, what about? There's no other news. This is the only news stories. Every single Every single story is about Trump said this, Kamala said this, Trump's gonna do that, Kamala's gonna do that. Anyway, of course Trump won there. You know what? You know, I'm not apolitical, but I'm, disheveled? What do you call it? Dismembered? I don't, disappointed, I guess is the best, because, okay, I don't know about you guys, but I always vote third party every election there, because I actually want things to get better, and I don't buy into stupid propaganda. Okay, I don't want to insult anybody, I don't want to get too political here. But let's just look at California. All right, California, everyone that voted for Trump, you wasted your vote. I mean, people tell me voting third party, I waste my vote, but if you vote for a Republican in a blue state that's never going to go Republican, you wasted your vote. That does nothing. That does absolutely nothing. Everyone that voted for Trump in California, you wasted your vote. Everyone that voted for Kamala in Indiana or whatever red state, you wasted your vote. If you don't live in a swing state and you vote for the loser, you wasted your vote. You wasted it. You wasted everybody's time. I want my time back. And the reason why I'm saying this is because third parties need 5% of the national vote. And if they do that, they get automatic ballot access for the next election. And they also get federal matching funds. Right? So however much money they raise, the government will match it up to $200 million. So they can raise $200 million, and the government will give them $200 million. So they have $400 million to spend on their campaigns. And people are saying, oh, why don't third parties? Well, they don't stand a chance. They don't have. Well, it's because they're not on the ballot, you big dumb, and they can't get on the ballot because the Democrats and Republicans are always suing them to keep them off the ballot. Okay, because one of my heroes, the great Larry Sharpe of New York, he ran for governor in 2018. Larry Sharpe's a brilliant man. He's very, very practical. And great. He's a great speaker. He's a great libertarian orator. He's a great explainer of why libertarianism is the best political philosophy. He's good at explaining it to the dum-dums. So he ran, and he did pretty good. He did pretty good in 2018. Of course, he didn't win, but he made waves. He was making waves. He's making waves, So then, of course, in 2022, that's it. That's his comeback party, dude. It's like, I made some waves in 2018. All right, 2022, this is my chance. This is my chance. And the Democrats and Republicans in New York State, they sued to get his name off the ballot. And all the judges there are corrupt, so they took his name off the ballot, And then he had to get all these signatures to, keep his name on the ballot. So, he had to get hundreds of thousands of signatures, which he did. And then the corrupt judges still wouldn't let him on the ballot there, And he spent a year fighting and suing and doing all this shit. And, in the end of 2022, they would not let him on the ballot. They would not let the official Libertarian Party nominee, who got all the signatures, who did everything required, they still wouldn't let him on the ballot because the reality is Republicans and Democrats are just mafiosos. They're just part of a mafia, and they just want to, keep power. And I'll explain that a little more later, but anyway. And so if third parties can get 5% in the national elections, they get automatic ballot access in every state. So no amount of mafia suing will keep these third parties off of the ballots. So the number one thing you can do if you want America to be a better place, and you don't live in a swing state, and, if you live in California and you want to vote for a Republican, don't be an idiot. Don't waste your vote. Do something productive and vote for a third party so we have better representation in the future. Okay, I don't get too political here. I don't want to tell anybody about it. The whole thing's a scam. I'm just extremely disappointed. Every election, even this election, I think only 2 or 3% of people voted third party. And I don't understand why everyone is so dumb like that. I don't understand. I don't know how. Even when I talk to my friends about this, my friends that are voting for either of those two idiots, they don't have any good arguments really. They're mostly just repeating propaganda. My leftist friends would be like, "Oh, Trump's Hitler." I don't know did you remember the death camps? I don't know if you guys remember the death camps when Trump was president. He was killing everybody. Remember the death? He's Hitler. Don't you know he's Hitler? You know, and and then the right wing people are like, Trump's gonna save America. Trump's gonna bring down inflation. He's gonna kick out the immigrants. Those are the ones. They're causing all the problems. You know what the biggest problem in America right now is? People can get an abortion. That's the biggest problem. I don't care about inflation. I care about abortion. You know, and anyway, and like I've had this exact same conversation with my friends in California. You know, that are like, they're voting for Trump, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a waste. That's a complete waste. Why don't you do something productive and vote third party? And they're like, okay, yeah. But the problem is most people don't like being told that they're idiots, and even if you don't say it expressly, directly like that, even if you don't say, hey, don't be a dumb, even if you just suggest something that would actually positively, the fact that they didn't think of it themselves kind of makes them not want to do it, It's like you got that fat friend that's just eating cake and pie every day, and it's like, oh God, I don't understand why I'm fat. I'm eating cake and pie every day. I eat a whole apple pie for breakfast, then I eat a cake for lunch. I don't know, why am I so fat? And then you go, well, hey, maybe you should eat a vegetable. And they're like, what are you talking about? Don't tell me. No, I'm not going to eat a vegetable. They're kind of like, I guess that's a metaphor. Anyway, what was I talking about? What was I blathering about? Oh, yeah, okay. And there's so many intelligent people, otherwise intelligent people, that just get blinded by tribalism. Like I can't, like, there's so many, like, I listen to these scientific podcasts too, and all these physicists and scientists are like, oh, we gotta vote for Kamala because Trump's a racist. Like, oh God, you're just gonna repeat that idiotic propaganda? That's your reasoning? Why don't you just make a real case? I mean, anywho, and then okay, I think most people don't understand what causes inflation and what causes economic growth, and for good reason, because okay. Have you guys ever heard of this guy, Pablo Escobar? Have you ever heard of him? I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, Pablo Escobar. He was a nice little Colombian man. He had a little taxi business in Colombia. And then one day he discovered cocaine. And he decided to sell the cocaine. And anyone that told him he couldn't sell the cocaine, he would shoot them in the face. And then he sold his cocaine all over the world. And anyone who tried to stop him from selling his cocaine, he'd shoot them in the face, or cut their hands off, or do terrible things to them. And he did it for the billions of dollars. This was in the 80s. He was making billions of dollars in the 80s, which is like hundreds of billions now. Yeah? This guy was bigger than Tesla. Anyway, the reason he sold cocaine is for money. Okay? All of that corruption was because of money. Okay? And the thing is, every single country in the world has a magical money printer. Okay? So Pablo Escobar had to sell cocaine to get money. But the people that control the money printer, they don't have to do anything. They just press the print button and they get the money. And so if you don't understand, and when I say you, I mean the royal you, if people don't understand that every single government is corrupted by the money printer, because as soon as that money printer exists, the psychopaths and sociopaths like Pablo Escobar are going to try to take control of it. And once they have control of it, we're all fucked. And they've had control of it for 100 years. And that's why the world is fucked. Because mafias control the government because they have a money printer. Like, imagine what you could do if you had a money printer, okay? The amount of propaganda you could have, like, if you want to buy commercials to spread your propaganda, well, no problem. You have infinite money. You just print the money. And then you can make a commercial about how it's a good idea for you to have a printer, right? And that's basically all of academia, all of economic academia, right? When you go to school and learn economics, all you learn about is how great the money printer is. So I wonder why that is. Anyway, and the whole political, the political fight, this whole political fight between the Democrats and Republicans, it's not, they're fighting each other because they want control of the money printer. They're just two different mafias. They don't care about you. They don't care about your rights. They don't want to make you happy. They don't want to make them, they don't want to do fucking anything. They want the money printer because it has infinite money. They want the infinite money printer, right? And so that's why, they all like the Democrats this year. They don't have any, their policies are all basically the same. I mean, they both they're subtly different, but they both support central economic planning, right? They both support overseas intervention, right? And that's basically the only the two things that matter the most is central. I mean, they both just want to centrally control the economy differently. But they want their mafia in charge, right? And so the only thing nothing is ever going to change unless we get rid of the money printer, right? All of the problems in the world, in society, are because of the money printer, right? Because economic growth causes prices to fall. Okay, this is another thing most people don't understand, and I don't know why, because it's so incredibly easy to understand. Economic growth makes prices fall, right? The supply of stuff goes up, the price goes down, right? You've seen the supply and demand curve, right? What happens to prices when supply goes up? Prices go down. Supply goes up, prices go down. So what is economic growth? Economic growth is an increase in supply, right? So as economies grow, prices go down. And we can see this throughout history, right? Why is there such few poverty, such less poverty, such fewer poverty? God, I can't even speak English, man. Why is there so much less poverty than 100 years ago? Or how did people become rich? Why do we have wealth at all? Because the fundamental state of the world is poverty, right? Cro-Magnon man was in poverty, bro. The Neanderthals were in poverty. They didn't have any iPhones. They didn't have any bidet toilets. They were taking dumps in the middle of the jungle and wiping their butts with leaves. Some of those leaves, they were poison ivy. They were wiping their butts with poison ivy. They're like, oh God, I just wiped my ass with poison ivy. Daddy, help me. And Daddy's like, I'm a Neanderthal. I don't understand anything you're saying. We haven't developed language yet. I think they must have had some sort of, I don't even know. I got to ask an anthropologist about that. But anyway, the only reason why, our standard of living increases is because the supply of stuff goes up and prices come down, right? That's what economic growth is, okay? Every year, things should be getting cheaper. Everything, we can make stuff more efficiently, so it takes less time, less resources to make the stuff, right? So not only does our productivity increase, our supply increases as well, And that's why they've been able to print so much money over these last, 20 years or so, because our productivity has increased dramatically due to, computers and AI or whatever, So it just goes to show you, like we should all be living. There should be no poverty anymore at all right now. But the reason why there is because these assholes with the money printer, they just print money and then they get to use it first. Right, so they get to use this newly printed money to buy up the assets before the economy as a whole can recalibrate prices, right? And that's what they did in 2020 when they printed $6 trillion. They gave each of us what, $1,200, and they're giving companies like $2 billion in PPP loans that they didn't have to pay back. If you're wondering about why poverty and what's the word they use, income inequality, right? Wealth inequality, it doesn't come from capitalism, right? Capitalism makes prices go down, right? It makes everybody richer, right? The reason why there's wealth inequality is because there is a money printer. They print money, they give it to their friends who can buy up all the assets and then it makes it more expensive for us, right? And this is all that matters, man. This is the whole game, is the money printer. And 97% of people that just voted in the election I don't know if they're unaware of this, or they just don't care, or they don't understand. I don't know why, because it's clear as day to me. It's incredibly easy to understand. You guys seen that movie, The Wizard of Oz? She goes to the end there, and the Oz is behind the curtain there, but it's like this, and the curtain's not even there. You can see Oz as soon as you walk in the room. He's using the machine there. He's using the little computer there. There's no curtain. You don't have to check behind the curtain. It's right there in front of your eyes. Just open your goddamn eyes. Anyway, I don't get too political here. Yeah, so I guess that's why everybody wasted their vote. Is anybody still listening to this right now? I doubt it. Everybody probably turned it off. A long time ago. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.